Welcome to my chambers. Did Barack Obama spy on Donald Trump when President Obama was in the White House and President Trump was Mr. Trump running for office? Well, we don't really know the answer to that, but we do know the following. The President of the United States has the authority to order the National Security Agency, commonly called the NSA, to conduct electronic surveillance of any person in the United States of America without suspicion, without probable cause, and without a warrant. Should he have that kind of power? Those of us who believe that the Constitution means what it says have been arguing for years that he should not. The reason he shouldn't is because the Constitution provides that only when there is evidence of wrongdoing can our private conversations and keystrokes on our electronic devices be surveilled by the government. Yet the president has that kind of power, and presidents have used it. Did President Obama use it on Donald Trump? Well, if he did use it on Donald Trump, it would have been very easy for him to do so just by communicating with the NSA. The NSA has 24/7 access to every electronic communication in the country and has had that since 2005 and has preserved those digital records, meaning every phone call, landline or mobile, every keystroke on every computer, every piece of digital data that moves on fiber optic cable is captured digitally by the NSA. All they have to do is press a couple of buttons, get the digital records, and translate that into a readable English language transcript and send it to the president. On the other hand, sources have told Fox News that President Obama could very easily have, and probably did, use a foreign intelligence service to gather this information for him. As wrong as it is for the United States federal government to have copies, digital versions of all of our communications, it is even more wrong for them to give access to this database to foreign intelligence services, and that's what they've done. Now, these are foreign intelligence services that are theoretically friendly to the United States. And the probable culprit here is called GCHQ. That's the Government Communications Headquarters, roughly the British version of the CIA. Intelligence sources have told Fox News that that is the entity through which Barack Obama more likely than not went through in order to get transcripts of the conversations that Donald Trump had with his aides during the campaign and with people he was planning on appointing to office during the transition. All of this is unconstitutional. It's unconstitutional for the government to be able to surveil us without a warrant. It's unconstitutional for the government to keep private records on us. It is unconstitutional for the government selectively to conceal and selectively reveal what it does know about us. And the sooner the American public recognizes this and wakes up to it and asks President Trump to put a stop to it, the more freedom the rest of us will have.
Meanwhile, the White House faced with yesterday's deadline to show proof Trump Tower was wiretapped ahead of the election. Now explaining what the president really meant by his explosive claims, here's Sean Spicer.
He doesn't really think that President Obama went up and tapped his phone personally. I think, but I think there's no question that the Obama administration, that there were actions about surveillance. The president used the word wiretap in quotes to mean broadly surveillance and other activities.
But Judge Napolitano says even if the president, former President Barack Obama, his White House did spy on this president, there may never be a way to prove it. It doesn't mean it didn't happen. Here to explain, Fox News judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, what do you mean he can't prove it? I thought he could prove everything. We have all the American surveillance and technology at our fingertips.
Okay, so the statutes authorize the President of the United States to order the surveillance of any person in the United States of America without suspicion, without probable cause, and without a warrant, meaning he doesn't have to go to a court to do it. So he can order the NSA, which already has the digital version of our phone calls, to transcribe the digital version into a transcript and give it to him. But if he does that, there's a record of the order.
Right.
So 3 intelligence sources have informed Fox News that President Obama went outside the chain of command. He didn't use the NSA, he didn't use the CIA, he didn't use the FBI, and he didn't use the Department of Justice. He used GCHQ. What the heck is GCHQ? That's the initials for the British spying agency. They have 24/7 access to the NSA database. So by simply having two people go to them saying, President Obama needs transcripts of conversations involving candidate Trump, conversations involving President-elect Trump, he's able to get it. And there's no American fingerprints on this.
So you're saying that the British used their version of the CIA to wiretap Donald Trump's phone or
well,
tower?
it's not a wiretap. The concept of plugging a wire into a phone box in the basement of a building is what the law was when these statutes were written in 1978. Everything is done electronically now via computer. The NSA has 24/7, 365 access to every mainframe computer of every telecom and every computer service provider that does business in the United States. And they share that with various intelligence agencies, including the Brits. So the British intelligence agency had this. What happened to the guy who ordered this? Resigned.
Incredible.
3 days after Donald Trump was inaugurated.
So Trump might be right, except for the fact who did it. Unbelievable. That according to your sources. Judge, great job.
All the best, Brian.
Me now. Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Napolitano. And Judge, nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Good morning to you. You've had a few quiet days.
Yes, I have.
You likely needed them.
Yes.
Before we get to the case facing the former congressman in Illinois, you put out a statement, I think it was 10 days ago,
right,
saying you were confident in the story that you reported here in the past month.
Yes.
You still stand by that? Or
yes, I do, and the sources stand by it. And the American public needs to know more about this rather than less, because a lot of the government surveillance authorities will expire in the fall, and there will be a great debate about how much authority we want the government to have to surveil us. And the more the American public knows about this, the more informed their and Congress's decisions will be.
Well, so no change then.
Correct.
And we'll see how the story plays out.
We will, yeah.
In time.
Yeah.